How can you decompose this pentagon into two different polygons?
We made it to level 3. Today we're diving into the world of shapes. We already know quite a few shapes like triangles, squares, and circles, but I'm wondering, what's a pentagon and a polygon? Let's jump in and find out. Today's quest is to decompose this pentagon into smaller polygons. Have you ever heard of a pentagon before? How about polygons? Well, just like we classify shapes as either 2D or 3D, we can also classify shapes into whether or not they're a polygon. The name polygon means many sides. Fill this out with me in your guided notes. Remember, when you see the pencil on the screen, there are notes to write down. So we know that polygons must have many sides, and in this case, it must have 3 or more sides. What else does a shape need to classify it as a polygon? Polygons must be closed shapes, like this square. Think of the sides of the shape as doors. If one of the doors or sides is open, then this is an open shape. All of the sides need to be closed to make it a polygon. Finally, the sides must be made up of straight lines. If a shape has a curve in any or all of its lines, it is not a polygon. So any closed shape that has 3 or more sides that are all straight is a polygon. Now that we know what a polygon is, let's sort these shapes based on the number of sides. Look at the shapes here. Can you group them by the number of sides they have and decide if they are polygons? Fill this out with me in your guided notes. Let's start with the shapes with 3 sides. There are 2 different shapes with 3 sides here. Since they both have 3 or more straight sides, they both could be polygons, but what about the other rules for polygons? Are both of these shapes closed? No. Actually, this one is an open shape. Since it's open, it's not a polygon. We still have one shape left with 3 sides. It's a closed shape, and does it have all straight sides? Yes, all 3 are straight sides. The triangle is definitely a polygon. Did you know the tri in triangle means 3? That's because it has 3 sides. Do you see any shapes with 4 sides? The square, rectangle, rhombus, and this other shape all have 4 sides. Are these shapes open or closed? That's right. All 4 of them are closed shapes. What about their sides? Do they all have straight sides with no curves? Yes. So all 4 of these shapes are polygons. The shapes belong to a category called quadrilaterals. The quad in quadrilateral means 4. So any 4-sided polygon is a quadrilateral. We know 3 of these quadrilaterals, but what is this one? There are 4 sides, just like the other quadrilaterals. It kind of looks like a rectangle, but the top corners have been squeezed in closer together. This quadrilateral is called a trapezoid. How about the hexagon? Does it have 3 or more sides? Yes, it has 6. The hex in hexagon means 6. Is this shape open or closed? It's closed. And are all of the sides straight? They sure are. The hexagon is also a polygon. Wow, I wonder if every closed shape here is a polygon. The last shape is the circle. We have learned before that circles don't have any sides. It looks like one curved line that goes all the way around. Wait, it's curved. The circle is not a polygon because it doesn't have 3 or more straight sides. Polygons can't have curves. Great job identifying polygons. Did you know there are so many more polygons we can work with? Let's explore some more. Let's look at some new polygons. Fill this out with me in your guided notes. One has 7 sides and the other has 8 sides. A 7-sided shape is a heptagon because hept means 7. The 8-sided shape is an octagon. Oct means 8. Do you see how we can classify our polygons based on the number of sides they have? So far, we have triangles, quadrilaterals, hexagons, heptagons, and octagons. But what about shapes with 5 sides? What are those called? Here we have a shape with 5 sides. Just like the other shapes we've talked about, its name gives us a clue to how many sides it has. This is called a pentagon. The pent in pentagon means 5. Wait, it's the shape from our math quest. So we are going to be working with a 5-sided shape called a pentagon. Let's look back at the math quest. How can you decompose this pentagon into 2 different polygons? We figured out what polygons are and how many sides a pentagon has. Now, what does it mean to decompose a polygon? We've decomposed numbers before, and when we did that, we broke a number down into smaller parts. Do you think it could be the same with polygons? Fill this out with me in your guided notes. Let's try it out with this triangle. If we cut it down the middle, this one triangle would break into 2 smaller triangles. So we can decompose a polygon by cutting it into smaller parts. Let's try a couple more. Do you think we can decompose a rectangle? Where could we cut this shape to break it apart? Try it out on your own first. What did you find? If we cut from one corner to the opposite corner, we get 2 triangles. What other ways can we cut it? Try cutting it straight down the middle to create 2 smaller rectangles. Now that we've seen how we can decompose polygons into smaller polygons, I think we're ready to solve this math quest. We've been asked to decompose a pentagon into 2 different polygons. Can you try to decompose this pentagon? Pause the video to record the answer in your math quest. Is it possible? As long as you cut from one corner to any of the corners across from it, you will cut this into 2 different shapes, a triangle and a trapezoid. Let's check our answer for the math quest. That's it. We did it. A pentagon breaks into a triangle and a trapezoid. Remember, every problem has a solution, and we've got the skills to solve it. See you next time.